Assalamu alaikum guys and welcome. One of the biggest questions I get from Muslim entrepreneurs is which business model should I follow? And that's a big question. There's lots of options out there and so many different options. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the pros and cons of all the different halal business models out there, as well as which is the easiest and the best halal business model that I recommend beginners follow if this is your first time starting a business. Let's dive right in. All right, so there's lots of business models out there and many that we could talk about, but there's four that I'm going to focus on in this video, four halal business models that I'm going to focus on. The first business model that I want to talk about is e-commerce or online shopping, creating an online store, creating an online Shopify website. Right? So what are the pros and cons of going for that business model? Now, you might hear a lot of gurus preaching e-commerce, preaching drop shipping, telling you it's a great way to generate an income online. Now, there's a difference of opinion on whether drop shipping is halal or haram. So I'm going to keep that out of the conversation because I am not a mufti, but having an e-commerce store, selling products online is perfectly halal. So let's talk about e-commerce specifically, right? So e-commerce, what are the pros and cons? The pros of an e-commerce store is that it doesn't require lots of human interaction. So if you're someone who prefers to stay anonymous behind their screen and you just want to build a brand, you want to build something online that is able to generate you an income, an e-commerce store is a great way to do that. You don't have to be the face of the brand. Another pro of e-commerce is that it's rapidly scalable, right? So let's say you start to make sales and your brand starts to take off. It's a really scalable business model, right? You just make more sales and you sell them more products. And it's really good business that is scalable pretty easily. Now, what are the cons of this business model? What are the challenges of starting an e-commerce business? Well, number one, the biggest challenge I would say is that it really does require a lot of money. Now, you might think that it doesn't, right? Because you might think, well, Abby, isn't it just, starting up a website, a Shopify, and then buying a few products and selling them? Well, that's true. That would be the case if people would actually magically land on your website and go and make purchases. But the reality is that's not the case. Once you actually build a website, and you have to pay to build that unless you want to try to build it your own. So it requires a little bit of tech skills. Where you want to build up that website, you want to make sure it looks right, the branding looks good, and then you want to actually go and get that product. So you got to pay for the product that you're going to sell, right? Pay for materials or, pay for whatever it is that you use to make the product if you make it yourself, or pay your supplier, right, to make the product for you, right, and then ship them to you. So you're going to have a lot of payments to make up front. And then when it actually comes time to sell the product, right, it doesn't really sell itself. You got to pay money towards advertising, right, towards marketing, towards social media to go and generate those sales as well. And for many e-commerce businesses, for many years in the beginning, they're actually not profitable. They're just focusing on growing the brand, on slowly increasing the number of sales, and whatever money they make, they put back into their business. The third con that I want to mention with e-commerce is profit margins. The profit margins of e-commerce aren't that great. So think about selling a product for $20 or $30, maybe even $40, but it costs you maybe $10 to make, or it costs you $10 to purchase from your supplier. It costs you another, let's say $5 in shipping to the customer, and it costs you another $5 in advertising to generate that sale. So let's say total cost is $20 and you sell it for $40, right? You make $20 back in profit, right? So it costs you $20, you sell it for $40, you make $20 in profit. That's $20. That's not a lot of money, right? So you would need to generate, for example, 100 sales, right, just to make $2,000 in profit. And generating 100 sales is a lot more difficult than you think when you're starting from scratch, right? You need to give people a reason to go to your store versus Amazon and all of these popular e-commerce websites. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I would say I recommend this business model for people who are already kind of tech savvy. They're comfortable with website development, so they can create a beautiful website, because that really matters a lot in e-commerce. They can create a great brand, and they're confident in their ability to go and advertise and market themselves, right? In that case, I would recommend e-commerce. And it's a good business model if you don't really want to be present, you don't want to be the face of the business. The second business model that I want to talk about is affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing is a halal business model. You're simply just selling someone else's products and services in exchange for a commission, right? So you're acting as a middleman, as a salesperson for another business's products and services. Now, the pros of that is that you really don't even need to start a business from scratch. It means you can go and find other successful businesses that have great products and simply, act as a middleman or middlewoman and sell those products and services to consumers, right? So the pro is you don't have to build a business from scratch, right? It doesn't require you to go and think about, supplying products to customers, dealing with, customer complaints and refunds and customer satisfaction and all of these other intricacies that fall into managing, creating, growing a business. The cons of affiliate marketing, right? What's the downside of that, right? Because a lot of people think of the upside, well, awesome, I'll just go and generate sales and make a commission. The cons are, how are you going to generate those sales, right? So it requires knowledge in terms of marketing and generating sales, or at least it requires for you to have a large audience or network that you can advertise to, right? That you can go and reach out to and be like, hey, there's this new product, this great company and I recommend this product. Now, another con is that the profit margins aren't so great because the company themselves, right, they want to make sales for the product and they still want to be profitable. So the commission they're going to give you is a small part of the profit they're actually making. So for example, let's say that you're an affiliate marketer and you're bringing in sales for a $200 product, right? Let's say it's a great product, $200, and the company makes maybe 60, let's just say $100 of profit off that. Let's just say they're super profitable. They make $100 profit off of every product. Well, they're not going to give you $100 for every sale. They're going to give you maybe $50, right? If they're generous, maybe 30% of the profit, they're going to give you $30, right? So it's a smaller profit margin business and it requires a large network or some experience in marketing to really go and generate those sales. The third halal business model that I want to talk about is building a software or creating an app, right? So a lot of people think, what if I create an app? I have this beautiful app idea, I have this great app idea. What if I go and create something like that? Now, the pros of creating a software or an app or a software, business model is that it's very scalable in the sense that once you acquire users, once you acquire people who use your app or who use your software, you're not really selling a product or providing a service. So whether your app has 1 user or 10 users or 100 users, the work that you're doing is generally the same. So scaling the business is really awesome. There's a lot of potential to scale the business and really grow the business, right? And also another pro is that it has monthly recurring revenue. So for most applications, for most software services, or they call it SaaS business models, software as a service. For those business models, you're usually paying a subscription, a monthly subscription. So think about it when you subscribe to platforms like Spotify, like Amazon Prime, like Shopify, when you're paying them per month. Shopify is a software as a service company. They provide you the software and you pay them a monthly subscription. So it's really great because it's almost like passive income if it really grows and get to a point where you have a lot of subscribers. The cons of that business model, very obviously, you need to be knowledgeable in tech. You need to be a developer, you need to know how to code, and if you don't know how to do that, you need to have the money to outsource. So it requires a lot of money to start. And actually, whether you even are a developer or not, it still requires a lot of money to go and acquire those users, right? To go and market the software, market the app, so that you can actually go and acquire those users, get those people to use your software and subscribe and make those monthly payments. And the profit margins aren't super great because usually when you're charging a monthly fee, you're charging, $10 a month, $20 a month, right? That's the average. And think about it. It costs you a lot to maintain your servers, to provide that software to your customers. So most technology companies operate at a deficit. It means they operate at a negative ROI, return on investment, which essentially means they're not making a profit. It means that the money that they're making in revenue is less than the money that they're spending to grow the tech, to grow the technology. And that's in the first few years of business. And that's to be expected. So just make sure that if you're going into this business model, that you have the money to really go and pay for developers and market the app and do it in a way where you're comfortable, you're confident in that idea, and you're pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of subscribers and a lot of people paying for your service, for your app, and that it's going to end up being profitable. All right, the fourth and last halal business model that I want to talk about is the service-based business model. Now, this business model is a business model. It's one where you are actually dealing with clients. So you're providing a service. This can be in the form of coaching, right? So you see a lot of coaches out there, mindset coaches, health coaches, nutrition coaches, relationship coaches. There's all kinds of coaches. Or it could even be in the form of a service such as marketing, freelancing, video editing, social media, graphic design. It could be in the form of consulting, like marketing consulting, providing consulting with business strategy, business growth. You're providing a service to clients. Okay, that's the service-based business model, right? Providing a service to clients and charging them a fee for that service. Now, the pros of this business model is that it's very easy to start and set up, because you only have to really get clear and figure out what is your offer, what is the service that you provide, right? And who is it that you provide it for? So who are your customers? And then how are you going to provide that service, right? So once you get clear on those, then it's very easy to start and set up this business. You don't need to code any apps. You don't need to build a website. You don't need to go and pay for marketing. You really just need to go and figure out what is the service that I provide. And then the other pro of that business model is that it has really high profit margins. So when you provide a service to someone else, let's say that you're really good at Instagram, and you go to someone else and you say, I'm going to help you with your Instagram, and I'm going to charge you $500 a month, right, to manage your Instagram for you. Now that $500 a month is almost 100% profit in your pocket, because you're not paying anything to provide that service. You're just going and managing their Instagram, and they're paying you $500. That $500 goes straight to you, and you don't have to really pay for products, websites, shipping, any of that jazz, right? That comes with these other business models. So very easily profitable and high profit margins, right? And you only need a few clients to start really generating a high level of income. You only need 1 or 2 clients and you're already making $500, $1,000 a month. So what are the cons of this business model? The cons of this business model, the service-based business model, is that it does require human interaction. So you have to be okay talking to other people, dealing with your clients, right? Making sales, going and speaking to others and selling yourself. Number 2 is that it does require you to build a personal brand. It means, people have to trust you that you can provide that service. So you have to be able to build up your personal brand and really showcase that you're a professional in what it is that you do. And you deserve to be paid for providing that service, right? Another con of this business model is really the fact that I would say you do have to be the face of the business, right? When you're providing a service, some people kind of position themselves as a brand. They'll say, okay, I'm an agency, or I'm this, or I'm that. And they just kind of put a logo up there. But in my experience, the best way to be successful is to really sell yourself. Why are you, as a freelancer, as a coach, consultant, service provider, why are you an expert? Right? So you have to be the face of the brand. So just keep that in mind. Now, out of those 4 business models, we talked about the e-commerce business model. We talked about affiliate marketing. We talked about building a software, creating an app, or a service-based business. Which one do we recommend? Which one is the best for a Muslim who just wants to get started, who wants a halal online business? They want to generate a halal income online, and they just want to be able to provide for themselves, for their family, and to serve others and to help others. Well, the one that we actually recommend and that we really work to help our students build up, and we've really seen them have the most success with that business model. They're generating thousands of dollars online in halal income, and they're able to quit their jobs and do their business full time. The business model that they're following to do this is the service-based business model. This is the easiest and the best halal business model for beginners. The reason we recommend this business model is because it doesn't require any experience, right? Previous business experience. So all you need to do is really get clear and figure out on what is going to be the offer, the service you provide. Number 2 is that it doesn't require any money to get started. You don't have to pay for a website. You don't have to pay for an app. You don't have to pay for developers. You don't have to pay for anything really. You just have to go and figure out what service will I provide, and then you can go and market yourself using free resources such as social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, right? And all you need is just a few clients to start generating an income. Number three is that it has the highest profit margins. So you can really generate a high level of income quickly, right? So as soon as you land a $500 client, as soon as you land a $1,000 client, right, you're generating that kind of income every single month, and that's going straight to your pocket. So the profits are awesome, alhamdulillah. So now that I've shared with you the best halal business model, what is it that I can do to help? What is it that we can do at Ummahpreneur to help you? Well, I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video and that it gives you some clarity on the different business models. Now, what I did is I actually prepared a 40 to 45 minute training. It's below this video. Go in the description and look for the free training link. It's somewhere in the description. There's going to be a link for that below. And go and click on that. It's going to ask you to enter your name and your email, and it's going to give you free access. Okay? This is a training that I filmed, and it actually walks you through how to build out this business model step by step. So what is it that you should do to create an offer, right? Because I'm pretty sure you're like, okay, what is it that I should offer? It's going to show you what is it that you should do to create an offer, what that looks like, what are the things to keep in mind when building this business model, how to go and get clients. And it even talks a little bit about our mentorship program and how we can help you start this business model, inshallah, as a Muslim entrepreneur. So I really encourage you to check that out, and I really recommend it. It's a great training, put a lot of time and effort to film this for you guys. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe below, click that notification bell, and let me know in the comments what are the insights that you've gained from watching this video. Did you learn anything new, right? Did it give you some clarity on what business model you should follow, inshallah? And I hope that I see you in that free training. Check out the description below for that. And make sure that you keep watching these videos every single week to help you on your journey of Muslim entrepreneurship. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.